Namaste, I'm Shiva Swati, and this video is about karmic contracts, soul contracts, and divorces. Normally, karmic contracts are the reason why marriages and divorces take place. People get attracted to a person who has been their soulmate in a past life, and where they could not culminate the love, they could not get married, someone died in war. So I had a client, and he was in the Mahabharata. I have had a lot of clients from Mahabharata, and this man was in the Mahabharata, and he was a king, and he died while fighting in war. And he was newly married when he died, and he had made a promise to his wife that I will come and be with you after I win the war. But he died during the war. So what happened was that the promise remained incomplete. Now he had had this lover, the same lover, after that life for 4 lifetimes, and he had never been able to marry her and stay with her, because the soul kept fighting the war inside and thought that, when I win the war, I will reach her. But he could never win the war. In any lifetime, he did not feel successful enough to reach her. So we actually, in therapy, we do the healing process. So we made him go back to that lifetime, and his subconscious mind does not distinguish between imagination and reality. If you overwrite a film, the new film becomes your new lifetime memory. So we made him win the war, the Mahabharat war, and then we made him get married to her, so that he can get married to her in the present life. So though he was in the Pandava side, so he had died early. They had actually won the war later. He did not know it. So he actually won the war, and then he could win the war in every life easily. Otherwise the rescripting wasn't happening. So we had to go back to the original life and then do the rescripting, so that he became successful inside his mind. And then he was supposed to marry her in the present life. So it was an extramarital affair, and he was on the verge of divorcing his wife. The divorce was not because of the extramarital affair, but he had a lot of guilt inside him, and his wife had died recently, and he had come to find out about her, but she never appeared in the session, and the session was totally about this woman he was in love with. And they had had some differences in the present life, because of which they were not together. But after this session, he felt more confident about being with her and proposing to her again. And it was a difficult situation because the wife had recently died and he had 2 children already. But this is how you get answers for a situation. And if you cannot culminate a problem, if you cannot solve a problem after one session, then you need 3 or 4 sessions for deeper healing, for soul healing, and then building strength from within and finding reasons why you lost the war, inner child healing out of the black magic. So all that also has to be removed. So normally I have found now that 5 sessions might be required by people if the problem does not get solved in one session. And even then, if the problem is something which carries over to other areas of life as well. Suppose you are your wife or husband dies and you are depressed, and then the spirit releases in the sessions, of course, but suppose you want to call back the spirit, you want to talk to the spirit, or you're feeling very lonely, then you need to do the workshop which I teach on soul healing, soul empowerment, which teaches you techniques on how to talk to spirits also. Because you cannot discard a person simply because he's dead, and you think somebody is dead, that's why he's negative. That does not really happen, because the consciousness is as pure after death as while alive. And if a person is positive before death, the person will remain positive after death. And you can definitely talk mentally, even if the person is not there with you physically. You can talk mentally. And always rebirth does not happen if a wife or a husband dies. It's only when there is detachment that rebirth will happen. If a parent dies and they're old, their work is complete, then rebirth happens. But if your lover dies, then rebirth is rare. In fact, homosexuality happens because a lover dies and the attachment comes in you. So I've had cases of homosexuality where it happened because the man was in love with a woman and she died, and her attachment entered her, and then he lived alone, and then in the next life he wanted to dress like a woman and be like a woman, because she was controlling his body, and he loved her so much that he wanted to let her control the body. He did not want to take over his own body. So in that case, homosexuality does not get cured, because it's your It's your own will which will cure you. I am only a facilitator. I do work of God. I do work which God lets me do. I don't superimpose anyone's free will. I don't judge you as good and bad because I know there are soul reasons attached. And God gives you the freedom that if you want another soul, if you love so much and you want another soul to control your body, it's your wish. And if you want the soul to leave, then over time, automatically the soul will leave. So we don't push anyone in therapy. You are awake throughout the therapy, and whatever you do is by your own choice. It is not because you are put in a trance and you are doing something. It is because you are willingly, consciously deciding to do something, and then you do. Even if you want to erase a memory or if you want to get over a habit, you confront yourself in that habit in a past life, and because you confront yourself and your eyes roll everywhere and you again and again confronting that situation, the situation gets resolved. There is a neuro-linguistic programming reason for it, but you are awake throughout the session. So I am very particular that the client should be aware of what he or she is doing, and that the conscious mind and the subconscious mind have to be integrated. Even if it might appear like imagination, it is not imagination. You might insist it is imagination if you see something bad about yourself, but it is not imagination. It is always real, and you would know it only after 5 sessions, because the first session is too stark. So after 3 or 4 sessions, you come to know that it is actually real, and how to see through a past life memory. That also takes 3 or 4 sessions. When I do the course on soul healing, subsequently after these regressions, in that I teach you how to see a past life instantly. But in the initial 5 sessions, I am cleansing your aura, and I am literally carrying you to see the past life. I do most of the work while the client responds if he wants to, and if they don't respond, then I see for them and then I interpret for them. But most of the clients respond. Psychotic people don't respond. They want me to do all the work. But once you learn the soul empowerment therapy, then you can do it yourself, and you take a lot more responsibility for your thought process and for connecting to your soul guides and connecting to your lovers. If your husband or wife has died in a past life, then in a soul empowerment therapy level 3, you can learn how to talk to spirits also, because it is an advanced process of reaching consciousness in another realm, and you need to understand how the subconscious mind works and does not understand death as such. So for several, I had a client whose husband died, and he appeared in a dream and said that it is all farce, I'm still alive. And this man never believed in life after death while he was alive, but after that he appeared in a dream and said it's all farce, which is true, because the consciousness continues to live. It's just that it enters another body usually, and it has a parallel lifetime. But it can connect to you, and if there is a lover, his or her energy might stay with you, and it sort of completes you. So you don't simply discard people because they have died, because they don't become negative by death. People remain positive or negative irrespective of death. So that is the process of soul contracts. When a soul contract is over, karma is over and a divorce can happen. And when a soul contract exists and you meet that person, an extramarital affair can happen, because your karma with your wife might be over. So it is based, still there is karma, the relationship will continue. But once karma is over, the relationship can break, and it might break even if you make all the efforts to continue. If karma is literally over, you cannot save it. But if there is some karma, like mother and son karma also, or wife and husband karma also, then a relationship can be saved, but sexual interaction ends. When karma is over, you cannot sexually interact with a wife or husband. It will simply be at a level of affection and responsibility. So that is how soul contracts work, that they are the reason for divorce or marriages or extramarital affairs usually. Unless there is black magic, that is another reason for extramarital affairs or promiscuity. And that happens because you have attachments of spirits inside you. When you have killed someone in war, there is the attachment of that spirit inside you, and you might fall in love with someone who is that person's wife or husband. So you have to cleanse spirit attachments a lot to stop watching porn or indulging in extramarital affairs, because these reasons are a big reason for your defeat in war. You might get defeat in war if anyone curses you, and you might lose a contract because your mind cannot be optimistic because of this person's energy inside you. So that is a reason why you need to release black magic and spirit attachments again through past life therapy. You need about 5 sessions and it goes away. The need for extramarital affairs goes away and you can be peaceful and calm within yourself and healthier. Thank you.